नमस्ते बिटिया, हमेशा खुश रहो बिटिया। Myself, JVN Dr. Astha Sikarwar, Assistant Professor, Department of Organ of Medicine, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. Today's topic is history and development of homeopathy in world. Homeopathy became spectacularly popular in the United States and Europe in 80s, and its strongest advocates included European royalty, American entrepreneurs, literary giants, and religious leaders. But at the time that it was gaining widespread popularity, it became the object of deep seated animosity and vigilant opposition from the establishment medicine. The history of homeopathy begins with the discoveries of its founder, Samuel Hahnemann, a German physician. Hahnemann first coined the word homeopathy to refer to the pharmacological principle, the law of principle that is its basis. Actually, the law of similarity was previously described by Hippocrates and Paracelsus and was utilized by many cultures, including Mayanas, Chinese, Greeks, Native American Indians, and Asian Indians, but it was Hahnemann who codified the law of similarity into a systematic medical science. Homeopathy began growing in the New World shortly after Hans Gram, a Dutch homeopath, immigrated to the United States in 1825. It expanded so rapidly that the homeopaths decided to create a national medical society. In 1844, they organized the American Institute of Homeopathy, which became America's first national medical society. Partially in response to the growth of the homeopaths in 1846, a rival medical group formed which then vowed to slow the development of homeopathy. This organization called itself the American Medical Association. In 1882, the AMA declined to acknowledge the delegates from the New York State Medical Society because this society had recently passed a resolution that recognized all properly graduated doctors. In 1855, the AMA established the Code of Ethics, which asserted that orthodox physicians would lose their membership in the AMA if they even consulted with a homeopath or any other non-regular practitioner. In the early 1840s and again in 1855, advocates of homeopathy conceived the McCaig legislature to establish a professorship of homeopathy in the Department of Medicine at the University of Michigan. The AMA resolved to deny recognition to the university's regular medical graduates if a homeopath as one of their professors signed their diploma. In the 1830s, the practice of homeopathy became illegal in Austria. Despite its illegality, many people used microdoses during the cholera epidemic of 1831. Statistics show that those with cholera who tried homeopathy had a mortality rate between 2.4 to 21.1%, whereas over 50% of those with cholera under conventional medical care died. In a 1890 issue of Harper's Magazine, Mark Twain acknowledged the special value of homeopathy, noting the introduction of homeopathy forced the old school doctor to steer around and learn something of a rational nature about his business. Wayne also asserted that you may honestly feel grateful that homeopathy survived the attempts of the allopathics to destroy it. Despite the significant oppression from the orthodox medical profession, homeopathy survived and even thrived in the 80s and in early 19s. By 1900, there were 200 homeopathic medical schools, more than 100 homeopathic hospitals, over 60 orphan asylums and old people's homes, and 1,000 plus homeopathic pharmacies in the US. These impressive numbers alone don't provide an accurate perspective on the significant impact that homeopathy had on American life. Homeopathy attracted support from many of the most respected members of society. Its advocates included William James, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Nath- Nathaniel Hawthorne, Henriette Beecher Stowe, Daniel Webster, William Sheward, Horace Greeley, and Louis May Alcott. William Cullen Bryant, the famous journalist, was president of the New York Homeopathic Society. John D. Rockefeller referred to homeopathy as a progressive and aggressive step in medicine. The fact that he was under homeopathic care throughout the latter part of his life may be one reason he lived 97 years. Homeopathy's popularity among respected classes was also evident in Europe. Besides its patronage by Britain's royal family dating from the 1830s, homeopathy could count among its supporters Charles Dickens, W. B. Yeats, William Hakluyt, Benjamin Disraeli, John Wolfgang Goethe, and Pope Pius X. Because abolitionists William Lloyd Garrison and Zabiana Eastman were strong proponents of homeopathy, and also because many individual homeopaths were politically progressive, the medicine itself became identified with the causes of female and black emancipation. Perhaps this spurred homeopathy's popularity in the North while retarded its progress in the South. Statistics indicate the number of homeopaths in New York doubled every 5 years from 1829 to 1869. Homeopathy was also disproportionately popular among women, not only as patients but as its practitioner. The first women's medical college in the world was the Homeopathic Boston Female Medical College, founded in 1848. 4 years later, it became the New England Female Medical College, and in 1870 it merged with the Boston University, another homeopathic college. Homeopaths also admitted women physicians into their national organization considerably before orthodox physicians did. Homeopath admitted women into the American Institute of Homeopathy in 1871, while women were not invited into the AMA until 1915. The Orthodox Medical School at Johns Hopkins finally agreed to accept women students as late as 1890, but not out of interest in women's rights. They were offered a $5 lakh endowment. Howard turned down this same offer. However, probably the most important reason that homeopathy developed such immense popularity was its success in treating the various infectious epidemic diseases that raged throughout America and Europe during the 1800s. Statistics indicate that the death rates in homeopathic hospitals from these epidemics were often one half to as little as one-eighth those in orthodox medical hospitals. Cincinnati homeopaths were also successful in treating people during the 1849 cholera epidemic that the homeopaths published a daily list of their patients in the newspaper, giving names and addresses of those who were cured and those who died. Only 3% of the 1,116 homeopathic patients died, while between 48 to 60% of those under orthodox medical treatment died. The success of homeopaths in treating the yellow fever epidemic of 1878 that spread throughout the South was so impressive that the homeopathy finally began to be noticed in the region. Death rates for those under homeopathic care were approximately one third what they were for those using orthodox medicine. Besides offering effective treatment for for infectious diseases, homeopaths provided care for a wide range of acute and chronic disease. The observation of that patient under homeopathic cure lived longer led some life insurance companies to offer a 10% discount to homeopathic patients. There is also actuarial evidence that more life insurance money was paid to the beneficiaries of homeopathic patients because these people lived longer. The training of 19th century homeopaths compared favorably to that of their orthodox physician colleagues. As I mentioned earlier, many homeopaths attended orthodox medical schools. Eventually, homeopaths developed their own medical schools or maintained departments of homeopathy within other medical schools. Boston University, University of Michigan, University of Minnesota, Hahnemann Medical College, and University of Iowa were but some of the schools teaching homeopathy. Historians today consider the education offered at the homeopathic medical college on a par with the orthodox medical schools of the day. It is impressive to note that a higher percentage of graduates from the homeopathic medical school pass medical board examinations than did their orthodox medical student colleagues. Homeopath showed impressive scholarship both in books and journals. According to a US Commission on Education in 1898, three of the four medical schools with the largest libraries were homeopathic colleges, and at the turn of the century, there were as many as 29 different homeopathic journals. Homeopath's popularity in the United States was obvious and deep-seated, and yet when reading most of books on the history of American medicine, we find little or no mention of it. When there is reference, it is generally derogatory, delegating homeopathy to as anomaly in medicine, a cult that ultimately disappeared of science of placebos rather than real drugs or a medical heresy. It has been said that the history is written by the victors, not by the defeated. The history of American medicine is but another sorry example of this maxim. Homeopathy is particularly popular in Great Britain, where the royal family has been under homeopathic care since 1830s. The New York Times noted that the visits to homeopathic physicians are increasing in England at a rate of 39% per year. A, homo- a British consumer organization surveyed its 22,000 members and discovered that 80% had used some form of complementary medicine and that 70% of those who had tried homeopathy were cured or improved by it. Not only their growing interest from the general public, there is also surprising acknowledgement of homeopathy by conventional physicians. The British Medical Journal recently published a survey of the attitudes of British physicians toward practitioners of complementary medicine. The survey discovered that 40% of the physicians surveyed refer patients to homeopathic physicians. A different study published in the Times of London found that 48% of the physicians referred patients to homeopathic physicians. A study published in the British Medical Journal noted that in a survey of 100 recently graduated British physicians, 80% expressed an interest in being trained in either homeopathy, acupuncture, or hypnosis. A recent survey of French doctors revealed that approximately 11,000 utilize homeopathic medicine. Approximately 25% of the French public have tried or are presently using homeopathic medicine, and over 20,000 French pharmacies now sell homeopathic medicines. This survey also noted that courses in the homeopathy leading to a degree are offered in 6 medical schools. Homeopathy is taught in all pharmacy schools and 4 veterinary schools. Homeopathy is growing so rapidly in France that a recent cover story of Le Nouvel Observateur, one of France's leading magazines, noted that President Mitterrand and 6 medical school deans had called for more research on homeopathy. The author editorialized, it is a fact that homeopathy obtains results, sometimes spectacular results. In 1981, the Dutch government published a report on alternative medicine in the Netherlands in 1981, which concluded that 20% of the Dutch public utilize alternative healing methods. The report also noted that homeopathy is one of the most popular therapeutic modalities. Homeopathy is widespread in Europe, but it is even more popular in Asia, especially India, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Homeopathy spread in India in part because of the support it received from Mahatma Gandhi, who was reported to have said that cures a great number of people than any other method of treatment, but also because it has been effective in treating many of the acute infectious conditions and the chronic maladies on the subcontinent. Homeopathy is not as popular in South America as it is in Europe and Asia, but it is still widely utilized. Homeopathy's popularity in Argentina dates back to General San Martin, the country's greatest hero, who was reported to have taken a kit of homeopathic medicines across the Andes in his refers to Free, Chile, and Peru from Spain in 1860. One of Argentina's most respected homeopathic physicians, Dr. Francisco, has estimated that there are now approximately 2,000 doctors in Argentina who practice homeopathy, and approximately 3 million of Argentina's people have used homeopathic medicines. Homeopathy is equally popular in Brazil, where there are also approximately 2,000 physicians who utilize homeopathic medicine. It is interesting to note that pharmacists in Brazil are required to take a course in homeopathic pharmacology in order to graduate. There are at least 10 homeopathic schools in Brazil, and several conventional medical schools have course work in homeopathy. Besides homeopathy's special popularity in the previously mentioned country, it is widely practiced in Mexico, Greece, Belgium, Italy, Spain, Australia, South Africa, Nigeria, and the Soviet Union. Homeopathy is re-experiencing a renaissance in the United States as well. In the early 1970s, there were only 50 to 100 physicians who specialized in homeopathy, and yet by the mid 1980s, it can be estimated that there were approximately 1,000 physicians who specialized in homeopathy. According to the Washington Post, the numbers of the physicians in the US who specialized in homeopathy doubled from 1980 to 1982. The rediscovered the rediscovery of homeopathy by the general public is even more encouraging. The magazine The FDA Consumer recently reported 1,000% increase in the sales of homeopathic medicine from the late 1970s to the early 1980s. Contrary to some critics who think that people try homeopathy only because they are uneducated, research published in the Western Journal of Medicine showed that homeopathic patient tends to be considered even better educated than the average American. It is difficult to predict how popular homeopathy will be in the United States in the 21st century, though it is probably that most physicians will utilize at least some of the microdoses which research has proven to be effective. In Hungary in 1997 and Lithuania 1999, homeopathy is officially recognized as a regular medical method by the government. In 1999, the Belgian parliament adopted a law with the aim to recognize some CAM modalities, including homeopathy. According to this law, homeopathy is considered as an additional qualification. The Portuguese parliament in 2003 and the Bulgarian parliament in 2005 adopted similar laws, providing a framework for recognition of individual branches of CAM, including homeopathy. The Italian parliament is currently discussing legislation that will eventually lead to the recognition of medical qualifications, homeopathy, and other branches of CAM. The European Pharmacopoeia, which belongs to the jurisdiction of the Council of Europe, is including specific homeopathic monographs on several homeopathic starting materials from botanical, chemical, mineral, or geological origin, and this process will proceed over the next years. It is intended that the official homeopathic pharmacopoeias currently used in the member state, that is the French and the German one, will eventually merge into the European pharmacopoeia. The history of homeopathy combines the high drama and intrigue commonly found in the best efforts of the silver screen. Although a movie has not yet been made about homeopathy, it is a film waiting to happen. This session powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. I hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention it in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.